Here's the fact that should bother you more than it does. You can ask ChatGPT the exact same question, word for word, 10 times in a row, and get 10 different answers. Not typos, not small tweaks. Sometimes completely different structure, different examples, different conclusions. That's not a glitch in the system. It's not a server hiccup. It's how the entire thing is built to work on purpose by design every single time you hit enter. Here's the assumption most people carry around without ever questioning it. Computers are supposed to be predictable. You give a calculator the same math problem twice, you get the same answer twice. That's the whole point of a machine. So when an AI chatbot breaks that rule, it feels like something's wrong. But chatbots like ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini aren't doing math. They're doing something closer to educated guessing, one word at a time, and that guessing is where all the variation comes from. To understand why, you need to know how these models actually write a sentence. They don't compose a full answer in their head and then type it out. They generate one word or a piece of a word at a time. After every single word, the model stops and asks itself, given everything so far, what's the most likely next word? It doesn't get one option. It gets a ranked list, sometimes hundreds of possible next words, each with a probability attached. So imagine a model just wrote the phrase "the weather today is." Its internal list might say sunny has a 40% chance, cloudy has 25%, cold has 15%, and dozens of other words share the rest. A fully predictable machine would always grab the single highest option. But that's not what these models are told to do. They're told to sample from that list, meaning lower probability words get picked sometimes too. That single choice early in the sentence changes every word that follows. That sampling behavior is controlled by a setting called temperature. Think of it as a creativity dial, not a bug report. Set it low, close to zero, and the model almost always picks the top-ranked word, giving you tight, repetitive, predictable answers. Crank it higher, toward 1 or 2, and the model happily reaches further down that list, producing looser, more surprising, sometimes stranger responses. Most consumer chatbots run at a middle setting by default, tuned to sound natural rather than robotic or wild. Here's the part most people never hear. This isn't a side effect engineers are stuck with. It's a deliberate choice. If every chatbot always gave the single most statistically likely answer, every response would sound stiff, generic, and eerily similar across millions of users. Temperature exists because purely predictable text reads like a form letter. The randomness is the seasoning that makes AI writing feel less like a robot reciting the most boring possible sentence and more like something worth reading. This is exactly why two people can ask an AI assistant the same question and swear they got advice with a totally different tone or angle. It's why you can regenerate a response in ChatGPT and watch it rewrite the entire thing from scratch, keeping the facts roughly the same, but changing the phrasing, the examples, even the conclusion. None of that means the model is confused or unreliable. It means the model is sampling from probability every time, and probability, by definition, doesn't repeat itself perfectly. Now here's where it actually gets interesting and where the marketing spin usually stops short. Companies love to call this creativity, and sometimes it genuinely is. But that same randomness is also why chatbots can confidently state two different facts about the same topic in two different sessions. The mechanism that makes AI feel fluid and human is the identical mechanism that makes it occasionally inconsistent on things that shouldn't be up for debate, like dates, numbers, or direct quotes. So is this a real problem, or just how the technology works? Both, honestly. For casual use, writing an email, brainstorming ideas, drafting a caption, the variation barely matters and often helps. But for anything where you need the exact same output twice, a legal summary, a repeated business process, a script for a call center, that built-in randomness becomes a genuine limitation. This is precisely why companies building serious tools on top of these models spend real engineering effort trying to lock the randomness down. There's a way to get more consistent results, and it's worth knowing even if you never touch a line of code. Developers using the API versions of these models, meaning the direct programming connection rather than the app, can set temperature close to zero, and sometimes lock in something called a seed, a fixed starting point that makes outputs far more repeatable. Regular app users don't get that dial, but shorter, more specific prompts naturally narrow the model's options and produce steadier answers. Here's my honest read on how big a deal this actually is. It's not a flaw you should worry is going to get fixed, because fixing it would make every chatbot worse, not better. The real story is that we're using tools built on probability and calling it inconsistency, when it's actually the design working exactly as intended. The companies building these models aren't chasing perfect repeatability. They're chasing answers that feel natural, and natural language has never been perfectly consistent, even from humans. My prediction, as these tools get built deeper into serious workflows, expect more visible controls letting everyday users dial consistency up or down themselves, right inside the apps you already use, no coding required. The demand for predictability in business settings is real, and companies that ignore it will lose ground to ones that don't. Until then, the next time an AI gives you a different answer than yesterday, you'll know exactly why, and you'll know it's not broken, it's just doing what it was built to do. That's the real story behind AI's so-called randomness, a deliberate dial, not a defect. And now you know exactly how to think about it next time a chatbot surprises you. If you want tech explained this clearly without the hype, subscribe to News AI Daily, so the next one lands in your feed automatically.